Welcome to your 5 minutes of self-care. So I just finished my morning practice. I woke up at 4:30, did a pineal gland meditation with Dr. Joe Dispenza to be able to turn into my potentials. Pineal gland serves like an antenna, which goes out in the universe, and the energy that comes out, you get directly connected to the quantum. So that's the scientific part of this meditation, which is really close to what I believe in and quantum physics. I need to understand why things happen. I'm a very spiritual person. Now I'm saying this because I know that every modality speaks differently to each person. And this is really important to honor this because all of us are different. Yet again, collectively, we are all the same because we're all seeking happiness, joy, content, peace in our life. And many times we find ourselves being victims of what's happening around us, but it does not really need to be this way. The ancient sages already knew that there are practices in place in the ancient scriptures. If these are the Sumerians, the Vedas, the Aryan civilization, Atlanteans, Lemurians, Egyptians, you will find practices that will speak on how we can find peace within, and we always look within. So the process really starts within ourselves. I have clients coming in, they want to change the way of thinking, or they just want to be connected to the heart space because the mind and heart is connected. This coherence is really important in anything you do, private or business life. Now, I can't speak out of experience because I am still in corporate life and business life. So what I'm showing you is my practice that I start 4:30 in the morning. I just finished my yoga practice to warm up my spine, to regulate my nervous system. Afterwards, I did more activating practices that I learned through Geraldine Temple Europe, the Qigong practice, and I incorporate some of the sequences that I have learned. Then I come back to calm down my nervous system to create this balance that I'm not totally hyperactive when I start my day. Now, how I start my day, pretty much important to set the intention of the rest of your day. And that is really important. Because if you start your day frazzled, you wake up too late, you rush, pretty much the rest of your day will be the same. And it's all about intention. Now, I'd like to speak to you today, specifically in your 5 minutes of self-care on this podcast about integrity. We have spoken about the yamas and the niyamas in the last week's ethical guiding principles. And at the end of the day, of all of these guiding principles come together to one big piece. And I call this being aligned with having integrity. What does that really mean? Because truth can be different to each of us. And it can be also influenced by cultural differences and the way how we have grown up. Now, coming from a mixture between East and West, born in Indonesia, father was Chinese, my mom is German, I have been exposed to both of these cultures. And integrity in the Chinese way or Asian way is different to what we know in the Western world. And this is something important to understand for your private relationships and professional relationships. All of us have their own truth and perception. At the end of the day, what is most important is you will find and you will know in your gut instinct if something is right or wrong. And this is where we connect in being aligned. The ethical guiding principles, the yamas and us, just speak about the fact that there are certain values and morals in lives to preserve our freedom and have respect for each other's and preserve other people's freedom. And this is something really important to nourish and to nurture. Because if you don't do this, this place will be anarchy. This place, this planet Earth will just be bullying people, exploiting people, walking over them. And it is a little bit looking at everything that's happening around us at the moment. It becomes this way. That's why I'm so emphasizing on the way how we can be, because it starts within ourselves. Being aligned within means that you are authentically you. You don't pretend to be someone else. You understand that you treat other people the way how you like to be treated. So obviously you don't want to be sidelined. That means you will not sideline others. You don't want to be screwed over. That means you're not going to screw other people over. You don't want to have your ideas being stolen, your contacts with people being stolen, even though you don't own people. That's what I have always said many times, yoga teachers. Students are not your property. Everyone has the right and the choice, the free choice to do what they want. That's very true. But there's certain guidelines, unwritten rules that I can see in private and also in business life. And you maybe will come across this. For instance, if you work on a boat, you have a great idea that could improve the productivity on the boat and could actually optimize the whole process and make your guys' life easier. You would go to your superior, speak about this idea, and the superior will go to the captain and claim that it's her or his idea and they had this idea. So obviously you will feel a bit betrayed by your superior or chief stewardess or whoever you want to call superior at that moment. And you will feel like you cannot trust this person because you gave them your idea, you gave them, your intel, your creativity, and this person takes this creativity. And it can be sometimes really annoying and frustrating, yes. But the only thing that I can tell you is one thing. What is it within you that you feel like that your opinion and that your words were not valued? Instead of that, next time you have a meeting with both of them together, that this cannot happen. Because sometimes we undervalue ourselves. And that means you're not aligned with yourself. So meaning, if you undervalue yourself, you have the tendency to do things that will be not coherent and not in integrity. And it always starts with self-love. This is something really important. It starts within. Give you another example. In the world of business, if you work, for instance, as an intermediate in startup companies and you're trying to raise funds, and I see this many times, that you have access to the company who has this great idea, this great technology, and you have another person, who could be your friend, who has access to a potential investor who can bring money to this company, A and B. Now, what happens is, obviously, you need to have an agreement with this entity, and he needs to have an agreement with this entity, or you have an agreement together. And that's always a tricky part, the communication, because people come with their baggage of experience of being betrayed in the past. So they're not aligned within themselves, knowing that the past was past, we can let it go. So they try to communicate, and maybe these people are from a totally different country and different cultural background. So they are clashing with that communication of this entity. The only thing you can do is come always from a place of kindness and unconditional love. The difference between fear, what is the opposite of fear? The opposite of fear is love. And when people are in fear, the only thing how you can respond to that is not with fear back, it's with love. Re-emphasizing and helping them to understand they'll be safe, they'll be fine, they had the experience in the past, it's okay. Instead of pushing back and forcing people to do something that they don't feel comfortable. It's all about alignment. You cannot push a person to do something that they're not comfortable in, and you cannot expect another person to understand your past experiences. The assumptions Everything is based on assumptions, which is not within alignment. You don't really know what this person goes through. You're just assuming. But communication is the key to understand what is really going on and to bring alignment, to bring all the parties aligned with communication and form a foundation of love, compassion, and kindness. But if you have an intention to screw someone over, that intention will come very clear. And it's with everything in life. It's with relationships, private relationships. You cannot go into a relationship wanting to change that person. That person is already that person that you want to be with, no matter how he or she looks like now. But going into a relationship with the intention, if he or she is going to lose more weight, or if he or she is going to change this, it's not going to work. Because that shows that you are not in alignment with yourself, and you believe you go into a relationship with second best that is not maybe that what you're looking for, but you don't want to be alone. And this is codependency, being attached and fearful of being alone. We're never alone. People come in our lives and they go. And it's a normal development and evolution of humanity. In order for us to grow and to become in alignment within ourselves, we need self-discipline to look at the darkest secrets of ourselves and to show up every single day, if this is physical, mentally, emotionally, and work on our wisdom body. No matter how many books you read, how academic you are, if you went to Harvard, London Business School, you can still be a prick. It doesn't matter. You can still be not successful. What matters is what is your intention. And if the knowledge that you have learned, you also use it. That's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Being in integrity starts within ourselves. It starts with self-love and self-care. Knowing how you treat others. Otherwise, you will always treat others as tough you treat yourself.